Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahma MZ. I come from University of Yogyakarta. Today I will represent my team about our research alcohol and hammer on Fiqh science experiment video in school affected by COVID-19. This research was sponsored by University and District team. I divided our presentation into 5 points. First is abstract, second introduction, third methods, fourth result, and 5 conclusion. Now we jump to the first point, abstract. COVID-19 has paralyzed Islamic and natural science education in Indonesia. The closure of all schools and the application of online learning have resulted in the sessions of face-to-face learning and practicum activities in school laboratories. The impact of online learning is not optimal because teachers have difficulty explaining the material or practice, making it more difficult for students to understand the material. As a result, teachers are required to be able to design online learning that is easy to understand and effective with interesting material coverage and learning methods. The purpose of this study was to improve the student understanding of grade 8 junior high school at Kediri dan Pasar on Fiqh material regarding alcohol and Khamr with online learning. The media used is a science experiment video which will have implications for changing the way students perspective the use of alcohol and Khamr. This study used the non-equivalent control group design method with a comparison between the science experiment class and the control class using the lecture method or traditional method. The result of the validation science experiment is 19.34% with perfect criteria. Pretest in the experiment class percentage of 17 with criteria is sufficient from the experiment class and the control class get a presentation of 72.4% and the post-test in the experiment class with a presence of 87.4% and the control class is 45%. Based on the result of the validation and the present and the post-test comparison between classes, the experimental method is good for learning Fiqh in Islamic education. Then in the second point is introduction. Before we start our research, we found some common problems in this course. First is dichotomy in Islamic education learning, and second, application of science integration in Islamic education based on K30, and third, social distance learning due to the impact of the pandemic COVID-19. Fourth, student equate Fiqh law between alcohol and Khamr. 5. Students do not easily understand the material due to distance learning. Why our research use video science experiment? Because the benefit of this research is students become easy to understand the process. And one of the solutions for implementing K30 integration that was affected by COVID-19. And the purpose of this experiment science is students become more aware of the effect of using halal alcohol and Khamr on the meat and skin. Then provide interesting learning on alcohol and Khamr Fiqh material while distance learning. The next point is method. This is the graph of our way to the result. First step is survey, then the second background, then the study literature. Then determine the sample, time, and material. Define and arrange the media, then expert validation. We have three expert validation. Is with material, then second is media, and the third is uh, expert experiment science. After we do the validation, we continue to the pre-test and post-test. Then we we get data processing and analyzing, then the conclusion. This is the procedure of our experiment science. This is the snippet of video experiment that we use. The result of this experiment is expert validation. The presenter's results show 91.34% from the experiment expert is 48% and the material expert is 43%. Then the media expert is 46%. Next, graph of pretest. Pretest of students A is 70%, then the student B is 72.4%. The post-test student A is 87.4% and the student B is 75%. The conclusion is the result of the analysis of the validation of experiments or education regarding scientific experiments that have been developed get good score. Based on the result of the expert analysis, it developed with field trials of students at Kediri 6 Denpasar Junior High School who were affected by COVID-19. Tests that we carried out include the significantly different results based on the pre-test and post-test conducted by the control class students and the experimental class students. Initially, students in the experimental class had lower score at the pre-test and the pre-test than the control class, but the post-test results showed a significant increase in score between the pre-test and the post-test result in the experimental class. The developed online science experiment video can improve students' understanding of alcohol and Khamr, which is better than learning with traditional methods or lecture methods. The results of the research are in line with the research conducted by Abdi in regarding science experiment on learning and biometric men and Christian Stewart regarding the use of video media as supporting learning. The conclusion from the use of media of science experiment in the experimental class has a deeper understanding of the difference between alcohol and Khamr from both of the perspective of Fiqh and the description of science.